Hello and welcome to this webinar. My name is Laura Davis and I am a partner at Summit Law Group out of Seattle, Washington. Today we are going to be talking about the various benefits that are available during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Wine Education Council has graciously sponsored this webinar and I am so honored to be presenting this important topic to you today. Here is a roadmap for the topics we'll be discussing. We will be providing a brief overview of some of the major programs available through the FFCRA and the CARES Act. And as you'll see, I'll provide information on resources where you can gather more detailed information. There are a couple of housekeeping items to keep in mind while we go through. And I want to remind everyone that this is intended to be for informational purposes only. It's not intended to be a guarantee that you will qualify for any benefits that we discuss or that funding will be available for any of these programs in the future. Also, Summit Law Group and the WEC are not responsible for any of the web pages that we discuss. And you shouldn't construe this webinar or the information as endorsing any company or group or person. Lastly, the summary is not intended to be and should not be interpreted as legal advice, so please contact an attorney for guidance regarding specific legal situations. So first, we're going to be talking about the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act, also known as the CARES Act. It was signed into law on March 27th, 2020, and includes a couple of major benefit programs. Most notably, there are several loan programs for businesses and an economic stimulus for individuals and families who meet certain income thresholds. This law also expanded unemployment eligibility and allows those receiving unemployment compensation to receive an additional $600 per week in benefits. Different government agencies help to administer different parts of this law. We have some websites at the bottom of this slide where you can get more information about the CARES Act, and more information can also be found on WEC's website at wineeducationcouncil.org. For businesses interested in exploring the different loan programs, I encourage you to visit the Small Business Administration and Treasury websites. The IRS has set up a website to track your stimulus payment for those individuals who qualify. And please check out your state's agency who administers unemployment compensation for information on eligibility for any employment benefits you might be entitled to. Next, we're going to be talking about the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. It's abbreviated as the FFCRA. It was passed in March 2020 and provides additional Medicaid funding, funding for nutrition assistance programs, and aims to allow free COVID-19 testing. I say that the law aimed to provide free testing because it was focused on trying to eliminate the patient cost-sharing provisions for insurance coverage, but it's unclear how this will apply to everyone. I should note here as well that the CARES Act, which we discussed in our last slide, expanded on the FFCRA with respect to funding for testing and care for COVID-19 and some other benefits as well. However, the major benefit associated with the FFCRA involves leave for employees, and this might be what you've heard about the FFCRA. The leave provisions took effect on April 1st, 2020 and are set to sunset or expire on December 31st, 2020. Mainly, the FFCRA provides for emergency paid sick leave, a public health emergency leave, and expanded the Family Medical Leave Act, also known as the FMLA. It also provided funding for state unemployment programs. These leave programs are available for full-time and part-time employees, though the calculations of benefits might be slightly different depending on your situation. So as mentioned in my last slide, there's a $1 billion grant to states to expand unemployment benefits under the FFCRA. And there are a few different leave provisions here. First, there's the emergency paid sick leave, which provides 2 weeks of leave for employees unable to work for a variety of reasons. There's also the public health emergency leave and FMLA expansion, which provides 2 weeks of leave and up to 10 additional weeks of expanded FMLA leave. This leave is mainly geared for those who are unable to work to care for a dependent child because a school or care facility is closed as a result of COVID. There are restrictions to use of this leave that may apply, including requirements that you must have worked for the employer for a certain amount of time. FFCRA benefits will apply to certain public employers and private employers with less than 500 employees. Those employers with less than 50 employees can be exempt from the requirement to provide leave due to childcare or school closures if it would jeopardize the viability of the business. Most private employers will be entitled to a tax credit for family leave benefits paid to employees, and there are certain tax considerations to pay attention to. Specifically, the Social Security portion of what's known as the FICA, F-I-C-A tax that employers need to pay. But for more information on taxes, please consult your tax professional. I would encourage you to check out the Department of Labor's website as well as Summit Law Group's COVID-19 resource page for more information. Summit Law Group has provided a summary of benefits under the FFCRA, which is available on our website, summitlaw.com. We've put together a comprehensive list of resources for you, which are also available on WEC's website. Again, that's wineeducationcouncil.org. On this slide, you'll see several agencies that can help provide you with general information. I've listed a few of them here. The CDC has a wealth of information on what we know about COVID-19, its transmission, and ways to stay healthy. The Department of Labor is a great resource for employers and employees exploring leave options and other ways to keep the workplace safe. We discussed the Small Business Association, the Treasury, and the IRS earlier in this presentation. These are agencies helpful for learning information on the federal benefits we've discussed. The EEOC has information on how to navigate anti-discrimination laws in the context of COVID-related programs and benefits. These are just a few resources. There are many, many to explore. Here are some resources that are specific for the wine and hospitality industry, including the National Restaurant Association and the National Association of American Wineries. These organizations have put together helpful information in response to this pandemic and are definitely worth checking out. We know that there are many out there who are struggling. There are many foundations, associations, and organizations who are providing emergency assistance right now. On WEC's website, there's a list of some organizations and grant programs geared toward wine industry partners. There are more that might be available to you in your local area or specific to your situation. Please be sure to look carefully at the eligibility criteria for these programs because not all benefits are the same and they're not all geared for the same types of workers, businesses, or individuals. But know that there is help and information out there for you. Here are sources of further research, and there's a list of websites and news organizations who've put together information about COVID-19 during this time. These resources and websites are available on WEC's website, and they can also provide you with a list of information and additional guidance. This concludes our podcast today. Please be sure to check out WEC's COVID-19 resource page by going to www.wineeducationcouncil.org and clicking on COVID-19 resources at the top of the page. For information about me or my firm, please check out www.summitlaw.com. Again, my name is Laura Davis. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.